take a look at the new Riot 1800.4 RGB amplifier by B2 Audio. It can never be too loud. Presented by Big Jeff Audio, where you go for big sound.
Hey, it's Big Jeff coming to you with another unboxing, and these are the new Riot RGB amps that are going to be here mid-January. Today is the 28th of December, and we're going to do an unboxing where you can see it before you buy it. Dynoing to see if this thing does what it says it does or does more. Also, we're going to be giving these away. B2 Audio USA and B2 Audio sent us out amps before they even got here to do the unboxings and the testing, and also to give them away. Hit that like button right now before you forget. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It doesn't hurt you anything, doesn't cost you anything, and make sure to leave a comment. And most of all, share this out. Support anybody on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't cost you anything to at least support us, and we'll keep doing this. Like it or not, we're here to stay, and we'll get better and better at it. So hit that like button, leave a comment, and share this out. Hit the subscribe or follow us on Big Jeff. Let's do the unboxing. So let's start off. This is the Riot 1800.4 RGB. Yes. So new Riot RGB amps came out. There's a 2500.1 and the 1800.4. They are going to be a MAP price of $399.95. Might say, well, that seems kind of expensive for an 1800 watt, but I'm sure when we get on the dyno, you're going to see that's worth it. Second thing in this box is built-in RGB. You don't need a Bluetooth adapter. You don't need a remote. There is a button on there to control it, and we're going to check that out. And a few other things. So one, it's a very small footprint, which we're about to break this out of the box. And I want to go over a few things first. This is rated, we'll do 2 ohms stereo, and it's rated 14.4 to do 450 watts times 4. And at 4 ohms, it'll do 300 watts times 4. Now, the cool thing is it is bridgeable because this is a Class D, and you can bridge either side or both. And it says it'll do 900 watts at 4 ohm. Yeah, so I don't know. Think about the price now. You could run a small system, a sub or a couple 8s on one side, mids and highs on the other, or you can use these amps to run a ton of mids and highs, being that you can load it down to 2 ohms. But let's take a look at this thing. First thing to notice, and I went ahead and signed this box already because this will be the one that is given away as long as I don't blow it up during the dyno. So far, I haven't blown any B2 Audio amps up because they're pretty strong, but packaged real nice. Cool thing too, so you can see the LED, guess what? It is plexiglass front, and you can see how small this footprint is. There's a lot of stuff stuffed in here to make that happen. With all B2 Audio, you get a nice B2 Audio sticker. And these also have high to low inputs. So if you watch the video on the 2500, it had that, and this gives you 2 for 4 channels. So if you're adding this into a system or you have a nice factory radio, you don't need anything else. You can go right into this thing. Okay, let's move this box out of the way. Whoop, don't need that. All right, let's pull over the Lazy Susan. Get this bad boy on there. So let's look at the size, because I said small footprint. Actually, a lot of power, small footprint. Mounting tab to mounting tab, you are right under 14 inches. So if I pull the tape measure a little bit, it's actually less than 14. Height-wise, and there's a little gap for some airflow, you are about 2 1/8. So let's say with the gap, you're about 2 1/4. And then these amps right here are right at 5 inches. So small footprint. Now I'm going to turn on the Big Jeff cam.
Big Jeff cam activated.
And you can see you got 4 gauge inputs. I did already try. You can get 12 gauge in here, no problem. Do wish this was a little bit bigger. I will give you the pros and cons, but to keep such a small footprint, you have to sacrifice certain things. So you can go mono on each one. You do a protection clip and power, or you have 4 channels here, and 4 gauge fits in there, no problem. Or on the dyno testing, I'm going to do 0 to 4s. On this side, yes, you have RCAs, you have low pass, high pass, and full. So this can run your loudspeakers. You can do a high pass with, looks like, crossover from 50 to 5 kilohertz. Crossover settings because you have low pass and high pass. So if you have it on low pass, wherever you set the crossover point, it will go from there down. If you have it on high pass, wherever you set the crossover point, it will go from there up. You have the high to lows that we talked about, gain control, very simple, very compact. I will light this up. You'll be able to take a look. And my cameraman, Ben, can you hand me the new camera we got? It fell off. Now, I don't recommend you all taking these off ever, but I'm gonna do it to get up close and personal. Thank you, sir. Yes, we have a new close-up camera. We keep getting some new stuff here, and we try to make the videos better and better, more information, more real life. Being now that we have a dyno, we have the SPL labs, the term lab, we have the handheld, the basehead garage, so many ways to test it. Obviously, everybody looks at the 81 as the official way, and we will do that later. There we go. Okay, so I definitely don't recommend, even though the warranty sticker is on the bottom, we don't want to screw up the top, but there is ways to tell if somebody went ahead and cracked her open. No reason to be a Mr. Fix-It if you don't have to be. Okay, we got them off. We're gonna pull this off. There we go, plexiglass, B2 Audio logo. So let's try this new camera out. We're gonna get up close and personal. There we go. All right, yeah, that thing works pretty good. Okay, so I am not an amp guy, but what I can tell you is there's your LEDs right here. And they are on both sides. Let's spin this around, you can see them. And I do know that these are MOSFET chips, and the more you have, the more power it makes. And there is a bunch in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14 on that side. So we have basically 2 power supplies. This is a 4-channel, and you can see they use rods here for the speaker outputs and also the power going into the board. Capacitors, if it does matter, it looks like 2200 microfarad, 63 volt. And this looks pretty secure in here. There is your mini board here, and that is the inside of this thing. Now let's talk about some specs. I'm gonna let this go. Okay, input sensitivity, 6 volts down to 0.4. What does that mean? This will work with a crappy radio, but recommend at least 4 volts and up. I use Kenwood, or if you're using a factory radio, plenty of voltage coming in. This is a Class D amplifier, frequency range 10 hertz to 40 kilohertz with a -3 dB. Power we talked about. Continuous power, RMS, and we're gonna prove that later. 4 ohms, 14.4, 1% PhD. This will do 300 watts times 4. You load her down to 2 ohms, which is very common these days, and you can get 450 watts. And then if you bridge this, it says basically 900 watts per set of channels, bridge down to 4 ohms, but we're gonna push and see if it'll do 2 ohms just to see what happens. But again, always stick to the rated configurations. Low pass, we said was 50 to 5K, high pass, same thing, 50 to 5K. Remember, the switch does down and up when you're setting this if you're not using a external. Now, I noticed on the website, it said 1 gauge input. I am gonna make sure they make a note of that, fix it, because it is 4 gauge for sure. We did use 0 gauge on the dyno, you'll see, but we used a reducer. And of course, now we have the Big Jeff Audio aluminum parts, and we have plenty of reducers to use, so that's what it is. Fuse rating, 150 amps. There is no fuse on the amp. Recommended to put one outside of it, and that is what is recommended. Operational voltage, down to 10 volts. I don't recommend, but it will play down to there. You will have a huge amount of resistance. It will cause heat, everything else along with it. But the amp will play up to 16 volts. I have hooked it up, and basically right at 16.2, then it'll shut off for protection. Right under that will come back on. Signal to noise ratio, 90 dB. Okay, so let's talk about pros and cons here. One, the footprint is incredible, and we will see from the dyno that it does its power or not. I love the RGB LED. Lighting is so fun. It looks good no matter what. I do like that it's very simple. There's a push button on this side, and I will show you that in a little bit. This actually has a microphone built in, so it will change to music or sounds, and then you can also have it on different patterns. And if you have multiples of these, say you have a nice big system and you're running a couple of the 2500s and a couple of these 1800s, you could probably put them together and make one big looking amp, and all the colors going to be really, really cool. Beautiful amp. I'm glad they came out with this Riot series. No, B2 Audio is not a budget brand. You are going to spend some money, but the quality's there. It's been like that for years. So for a price tag of $399, I really don't see a problem, especially if it's going to do that power in this small size and you get some good quality out of it. Remember, it is not just about the power, it is the guts. It is what it does and how it sounds. And I got to play with this earlier, and on some Neo speakers, it was just incredible sounding. It's hard to hear differences unless you have it side by side, and not everybody has a test room like this with all this stuff, but we do, and I can tell you there is a difference. That 2500 one, really clean sound on the bass. I didn't see dimmage in the lights. That stayed strong, no matter if we were up at 16 volts or down at 12 volts. So that was a beautiful thing. I was hoping that wasn't gonna happen. I love their look. It's a nice white pattern. The plexi is a nice added, and then you can't see it from there, but there's a small gap in between to allow airflow. Now, these amps do not have fans. Why is that? Do they need fans? Well, yeah, some amps do need fans to get the hot air out and cool air in, but generally under 3,000 watts, it can be fine without it. It also matters on the quality of the amplifier. Cheaper amps have less quality parts and will have more problems. Better amps, and not saying because it's a better amp, it doesn't need a fan. Just this particular style was tested, heated up, and in fact, through all the dyno testing that you're about to see, this thing really didn't go over 120 degrees, so not a problem at all. Listen, I'm Big Jeff. Hit that like button, leave a good comment. I do my best. We keep changing and adapting and adding to the room and doing more and more. We just got our SMD dyno in finally, and we've been using that like crazy. Thank you to everyone. This is the end of December. This is one of the last videos we're doing of 2024, and we have so many things lined up for 2025. So share this out if it's on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, right? Spread the love, and thank you so much. Supporting my platform, Big Jeff Audio, helps us do all these giveaways and these videos and things like that. And big shout out to B2 Audio and B2 Audio USA for having Big Jeff as one of their main distributors and opening us up to things like this to come. And there is a lot of new product. I am told in January, there's a container coming of like 12 to 15 new SKUs. I know what they are, but you're gonna have to wait to see. But stuff like this. Also, the 0 amps are coming back, the 06, a 12, and a 15. Yes, and the zeros are rated, not that's the number. It doesn't just do 6,000 or 12 or 15. It does way more Korean amps. And they will be here probably right after this video is broadcast. So stay tuned. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com, representing B2 Audio. It can never be too loud. I'll see you on the next video.
Stay tuned for complete dyno test video coming soon.